recording, by the way.
Let's
And we're almost live. We're almost live on YouTube. We're now live on YouTube, so I can't stop the recording. That's funny. Okay, we got 5 minutes. So if you're wondering what's happening on YouTube,
if you're going to share the link, I'm not going to share the live link on this one because of the previous conversation.
Yeah, it's not serious. We didn't. It'll only stream from when we were live, not before that. Yeah. And you can't edit YouTube live, eh?
No, but they're recording afterwards.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Do you want to share the Menti password?
I can do that. The Menti thing. Expires in 6 days. It's interesting.
The same code from yesterday.
Yeah, it is the same code. Or even though I reset. But then I'm just popping it where. Why has it got voting is closed now? How do you reopen voting?
I think you need to go into your account on Menti and then go there and look at configuration or something.
I went through every single slide earlier and unticked voting is closed. So I don't know why it's doing that. Content.
I'm going to quickly test if I can enter.
Customize.
Okay, so it's allowing me to go in like a participant.
Okay.
And I'm
I don't
seeing
know why it was giving me that voting is closed message. Yeah, it should be fine, eh? So for some reason that slide jumped back to voting is closed, but I've just unticked that. Maybe I missed it. Okay, so I have to present and share my screen and share that. And there you go. So you should be able to see that.
the blue, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's same what I'm seeing on Menti.
Yeah, cool. And there's only two people in the waiting room.
No, we had quite a few joining on the hour.
Sure. Lance Pepper is asking me for the link to attend. That's weird because I posted it here. And I've posted it all over the show, so I don't know why you can't see it. There we go. Sent it to him. So that'll be cool. At least that's another attendee. Why does it do this?
What?
My screen disappears. Okay, we've got 6 participants. What's the time? It's a minute to go still. I don't see Alistair yet.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll come in at 3. No, yeah.
Awesome. I'm waiting for the, and it is 3 o'clock in a minute. Cool. Yeah, I'm going to start admitting.
Okay.
There's some familiar faces. Good afternoon. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us, and please pop your name and location in the chat so we can get a sense of where you're coming from and who you are. Nice to have you all with us this afternoon. We're live on YouTube, so having fun in general. Cool. We're going to give it a few minutes before we get going, just to give people a chance to join us. Paul, you're not really from the UK. You're just in the UK. But I know what you mean. Cool. Give people a few more minutes. We had great attendance yesterday. And who's that? Is that Brett?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Hello, Brett. Sorry, I couldn't see your name, but your video popped up. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure.
Looks like we've got 2 Brits on the.
Yeah, we got Mr. Bowles
today.
and Mr. Bowes and Mr. Thorpe. Cool. Just give it a few more minutes and let people join. It's 15:03. Ah, there's another familiar face. Brett, please don't tell me you're already at the coast.
No. I'm in lovely Joburg.
No, I'm talking to Mr. Bowes, who just switched his video on.
Oh, okay.
Only on Saturday.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. No, I knew it was soon. Okay, cool. Welcome everybody. Hey, Lance. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. We're live on YouTube, so you need to all be on your best behavior. So I know some of you have a tendency to give me some banter, which I don't mind. So thanks so much, guys. Thanks for being with us and helping us again to democratize entrepreneurship as purposepreneurs. As you know, entrepreneurs face many challenges, and we believe that by helping address the fundamentals, we can make quite a substantial difference. So let's get going. So to just get the ball rolling, can you give me a sense of what stage of entrepreneurship you're in? And before I jump the gun, if you open another tab and go to menti.com, you'll see menti.com. You'll see that it'll ask you for a code, and that code is 703186, as you can see on the top of my screen. And
Also
that will
shared in the
allow you.
chat. I also shared in the chat, Craig.
Thanks, Liesel. And Liesel shared it in the chat. And in fact, there's even a chat box. Yeah, it's getting complicated. Yeah, so it's in the Zoom chat as well. So yeah, you can start to respond to that question of what stage of entrepreneurship are you in. So recently just started this year, all the way over to corporate maverick, corporate career junkie, I guess, on the other end of the scale. Thanks, Lance. I see you there. I thought of you immediately when that answer popped up. Okay, and we've got another one. Got 2 answers so far. Cool. 4 answers. Awesome. So this gives me a sense of, you know, where you're at, where you're coming from. So everybody managed to get into Menti and respond. I'm going to give it another minute. So I'm going to start a timer. You can see that you should be able to see the timer on your screen. So counting down. I've still only got 4 votes. And I know there's more than 4 of you on the call.
Craig, I can't get into it. You can, if somebody types in established entrepreneur for me, that'd be great. Liesel?
So were you able to open another tab?
No, I'm struggling with my machine here.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully you can get to another browser tab, because the whole session is quite interactive. So this is just the start. Yeah. Cool. But yeah, we know you're an established entrepreneur. Thanks, Brett. That's awesome. Cool. So the voting has closed for that one, and we have at least 1 or 2 established entrepreneurs in the room. Awesome. So just to set the scene a bit, and, you know, what is this core of democratizing entrepreneurship? You know, what do we actually think we're doing? So at the core is our massive transformative purpose, which is democratizing entrepreneurship in Africa. And what we're really doing is we're saying that we need to take entrepreneurs on a journey to digitization and build a community of practice that is attracted by the notion of democratizing entrepreneurship. And by democratizing entrepreneurship, we mean ease of access, you know, getting to the fundamentals and making it simpler and easier for people to gain economic, you know, improve economic development and gain financial inclusion. And then really as a community to support each other. So the mantra of each one, reach one, teach one is all part of this fundamental notion of democratizing entrepreneurship. And what we did was we said that in order to do this, we need some kind of a framework. And we built this framework called the Entrepreneurial Brain, which is your framework for democratizing entrepreneurship. It has 7 states and 7 paths and 5 states. And really the states center around mindset, you know. So mindset is at the core of everything that an entrepreneur needs to do in terms of purpose, in terms of positivity and tenacity. If you've got the right mindset, you can pretty much tackle any challenge, any problem, and come up with a solution ultimately, because you can leverage the other pathways with the right mindset. So you can leverage the resources, the practices, you can hustle to get the team together, and you can work to understand your customer and your skills and your solutions. So those are the other pathways in terms of the entrepreneurial brain framework. So before we go a bit further, here's the next little quiz, which just to get a sense of where you guys have learned the most about perhaps intrapreneurship or entrepreneurship. What's the best entrepreneurship book you've ever read? So the code is the same, but you should be able to see the next question if you're managing to get into Mentee. And I see somebody else has just joined us. So if you've just joined us, you'll see at the top of my screen there's a website URL, menti.com. And when you go there, if you could enter the code 703186 and answer the question, what's the best entrepreneurship book that you've ever read? Brett, are you coming right?
Slowly.
Okay, cool.
But you know the answer to my answer, exponential.
Okay, I'll enter that.
Good for you. Thank you.
I'll enter that because
you gave me the book.
I gave you the book, and if it doesn't come up, I'll make sure it does.
Good.
Yeah, very cool. Somebody says, sorry, Craig, quite a few, but what's the best? Please give me number one. Give me number one. What's your number one? Can somebody else please enter exponential organizations? Because I'm also now having a challenge getting to
Craig, I'm also struggling.
my own quiz.
Same here. I'm also having a problem.
So not everybody's having that problem, eh? Perhaps
703186.
Yeah, 3186. Alistair, are you having that problem?
I'm not.
Okay, so
I've put two books.
You have to push next a few times to get to the question. But
I'm not. Yeah. It's telling me that the question I can't even move beyond the first question at the moment because the question is open for voting.
I've got the same issue. It's not letting me move past the first question.
I'm going to go incognito and see if that helps.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Because you and I were on this yesterday, obviously, so perhaps it's picking up something from yesterday.
Craig, it's doing it with me as well.
Yeah, it's not even working on incognito now.
Okay. All right, I don't know why that is the case. Let me just see if it
says here the question is not open for voting. Wait for the presenter to open it.
Okay, I'm just going to stop sharing and go to the controls. So sorry about that. I did actually go through all of them before the session and make sure that they were open for voting. But for some reason, it's messing me around.
Paul is suggesting maybe you need a new code. It's the same code from yesterday. I wonder if that will solve the problem.
Yeah, no, it's not supposed to be. Not supposed to be. And I mean, I did reset all slides. I'm going to do that again. See if that makes a difference. And content. Okay, so present. Doesn't change the resetting all slides, doesn't change the code because it is the same pitch.
Can I quickly suggest something?
Thanks, Alistair, that would be great.
There's 3 tabs inside Mentimeter. It says type content customize. On customize, you might have to unclick close voting?
I did actually do that, and let me just go and double check that.
Because we're stuck on the first activity you did on Menteen.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you go back to that slide and click on that and then move forward again.
Yes. So I've reset. Voting's closed on that one. That's fine. And
otherwise, Craig, we can chat. It's a small group. We can put it into the chat box, and Liesl can just add it up.
Yeah.
No, the thing is that with this tool, you get a nice interactive, if it works. You get a
which
nice.
Which it did brilliantly.
It worked beautifully yesterday. Yeah.
And Murphy said not today.
So you're seeing my screen. Close voting is not ticked. So
go back to your first activity slide, Craig, because that's where we are stuck.
Yes. Okay. You open the voting for all of them. It will work.
See.
Yes, that's it.
That's it. Let's see now. There is problem solved.
Okay.
Perfect.
So we just need to.
So we don't have to redo that one. Or if you wouldn't mind, because Brett, you weren't able to submit. So yeah, we might as well redo that one. And then I'm still curious about whether this one's going to work.
So yeah, so then we are stuck on your second slide, and when we click next, we can't because I think you need to go back to that slide.
Yeah, so if I don't want to click on close voting here. You're seeing my screen.
So
I'm going to click on present. And
okay, there we go. We're moving forward now.
Okay,
so
cool.
If you redid the first question, then we back on.
Are you able to go to the second one? Next, 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 next. Okay, so I'm on the second one. Is everybody?
Yes,
with
we should
now?
be fine. Yeah.
Cool.
Are you okay there, Brett?
Well, I got to vote on the first one, so I'm making progress, but I'm not on the second one yet.
Okay, but you should be able to get to it. Is the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about the gremlins, guys. We do have enough time to go through the process, so just stick with us. And you can start to answer the question, what's the best entrepreneurial book you've ever read? The Innovator's Dilemma is awesome. Quantum Thinking, The Buddha and the Badass, I love that one too. And there's more than one exponential organizations. Cool. And we'll give it, we've got 3 votes so far. That's weird because there's more than 3 answers. Of course, you can put more than one answer in. So only 3 people have voted so far. We'll give it a few minutes for the rest of you.
Yeah, the books that I've basically read are mainly sales orientated, not really entrepreneurial kind of books.
But that would be applicable, yeah.
Yeah, if you feel they can help entrepreneurs sell, give us a clue there. I'd appreciate it.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to start the counter for 1 minute. Still only got four votes in, so half a minute if you haven't voted yet. 4 voters. Votees. Extreme Ownership. Way of the Wolf is a very good sales book. Yeah, awesome. Cool. 10 seconds.
You can just also come back to Zoom and watch the results come up from Mentee if you haven't worked that one out yet.
Okay, awesome. So the voting's closed on the best entrepreneurship book. Thanks so much for contributing there. And I'm delighted that Exponential Organizations has come up because we wanted to just talk a little bit about an EXO being a purpose-driven, agile, scalable organization that leverages exponential attributes to create a massive positive impact. In business, exponential organizations drive the cost of supply to zero. So this is a adapted definition that came out of a collaborative crowdsourcing of developing the next version of the book, which is something that some of us on this call have been involved in. So great fun. But notice the keywords: agile, scalable, exponential attributes, and you'll see some of those in the work we do and in Alistair's session, which follows immediately after this. So New World entrepreneurs create impact that is at least 10 times larger than their peers, usually leverage a platform and exponential technologies, and unlock new business models to decrease the cost of supply and demand. So just wanted to set the scene from that perspective around how we see democratizing entrepreneurship being about the way you think. We've spoken a little bit about mindset, your clarity of purpose, perspective, frame of reference and intentionality as an entrepreneur, the way you work being about the skills that you leverage and the capabilities that you need to create value, and the practices that you use, modern methods for extracting and sharing value, and then the team, which are the people that collaborate closely for shared value. And that then allows you to put together your value offer, which is based on solutions which come from the application of your capabilities, resources, which is also capability related, but obviously tools and templates and other practices. And then, of course, the customer engagement that happens for mutual benefit. So that's the kind of backdrop for the picture and for the questions that are coming up. So as I said, our massive transformative purpose is democratizing entrepreneurship. And this is another interactive. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear democratizing entrepreneurship? So you should be able to click next on your Mentee screen and get to that question, and you should be able to enter a phrase or a word that is the first thing that comes to mind when you hear democratizing entrepreneurship. So go for it. Let's get those phrases in. Easy access to all, absolutely. Collaboration, opportunity, growth. This is awesome. Yeah, framework. I guess you've seen it. Inclusivity, moonshot, awesome. Cool. I'm not gonna dwell on this one too much. Then that's great. Thanks very much. Shall we give it? Okay, it's automatically given it another minute, so you can see the counter now. I was going to give it half a minute, but I think we're good. Since we had so much, I've just thought of something else which I'm going to submit. Cool. And we're at 30 seconds, and at least this time we had 8 people participating in providing input. Oh, and there's somebody in the waiting room. Awesome. So they'll only welcome if you've just joined. You've got 20 seconds to respond to what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear democratizing entrepreneurship. But I think it's a bit late for that. So sorry about that. And the voting is closed on democratizing entrepreneurship. But we've got easy access for all being kind of the dominant thing, and collaboration and sharing featuring quite strongly as well. So that's very cool. So when you think of mindset, and you saw the framework, hopefully, I mean, I can go back quickly for whoever's just joined. So the framework is about the way you think, the way you work, and your value offer, and the way you think's about mindset, the way you work's about skills, practices, and teams, and your value offers about solutions, resources, and customer. So when you think of mindset, what word or phrase best describes the entrepreneurial mindset from your perspective? And mindset for us is about the clarity of purpose, perspective, frame of reference, and your intentionality as an entrepreneur. So how would you describe that? And if you're on Menti, you should be able to scroll down to just below the picture that's displayed with that definition in it, and start to enter those words that describe or illustrate the first thing that comes to mind when you think of the mindset of the entrepreneur.
Maybe Craig, just for Mark, who's just joined, explain the Menti process. And it looks like some people are having a similar problem to what myself and Brett had earlier on the first slide.
Oh my word, why is it doing that? Okay, so Mark, if you, in order to participate in the engagement of the questions, you've got to go to menti.com on a separate tab and enter the code 703186, and you should be able to go through the questions. I'm just checking the settings on this one, because as you guys said, you having the problem again. Close voting's not ticked, so you shouldn't have an issue.
So it's the first slide again, the first activity.
You reckon because it's closing on previous ones, it's affecting the others. So it's not closed there. Keep going. And entrepreneurship book. Okay, I'm going to unclose that one. So the closing of the voting seems to be affecting following slides, which is unfortunate. But you should be able to still vote on mindset at this point, or
no,
give us your word. Not.
It's annoying. Saying it's now stuck on the when you think of the democratizing entrepreneurship, what's the first thing that comes to mind? That's activity.
Yeah. Is everyone having that problem? Because I'm not having that problem on Menti.
If you click on slide 12.
Yeah, there you go. Getting answers.
So it says it's closed for voting.
Yeah, why is it? Okay, I didn't close it. Why is it doing that? It's weird.
Okay, now we can move forward.
Okay.
If you have answered that, you can just submit and go to the next question.
Okay, so we're on mindset. Awesome.
Correct.
And the answers are coming in. And if you've just joined us, I see Mary Beth just joined us. Mary Beth, we're doing a bit of an interactive entrepreneurial exploration of a couple of what we call pathways of the framework that is called the entrepreneurial brain. And the fundamental pathway is mindset. And you need to go to participate and add your thoughts to this. You need to go to a separate tab and enter menti.com and put in the code 703186. Thanks for joining us.
It's also in the chat.
So we're getting some cool stuff like abundance mindset. Yeah, absolutely. Creativity, rediscovery. I'm going to enter some thoughts. Learning, and I'm not going to use the counter because I'm suspecting that that might be what's affecting our flow here. So I'm just going to ask.
If people submit and then underneath that there's a little tab saying go to next question and they click onto that, it automatically takes you forward.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to click on next question once you've finished submitting. But you should wait for me because otherwise you might run ahead. Yeah. But we're getting nice feedback. So creativity is dominant in terms of mindset. Continuous learning features there. And of course the abundance mindset, that ability to believe that anything is possible and be crazy enough to think that you can do anything, I guess is part of that. Cool. So we've got 8 people have responded there, and that word cloud looks really awesome. Thank you for your contribution. Mary Beth, I know you came in kind of just around about here. Did you manage to respond? Give us a thumbs up or a... Okay, well, I'm not seeing anything. Let's keep it moving. So we're on to the next pathway. When you think of the way you work on the team pathway, what is your greatest entrepreneurial team need? So as a team, these are the people that work collaboratively for shared value and obviously very closely. And of course, there are issues like where to start, getting the right people, getting the right skills, collective learning. So those are some of the examples as a team. But if you could give us your thoughts on when you think of team, and now you can click on next question on your mentee response panel, and you'll see that you're at the team response panel. And if you could give us, it's starting to come up. So, and trust is one that came up very strongly yesterday. And there you go. Sure. The machine's listening to me. Shared vision, adaptable skills, collaboration, self-managed empathy. Those are all awesome. And it looks like all of that has only come from only 2 people. So if the rest of you would give us your thoughts on challenges, what your needs are in terms of building a team.
Is everybody managing with Mentee now? It looks like if we don't use the timer, we don't have the same problem.
Yeah, it seems to be better now. Staff on demands come up, adaptable skills. Cool. Experts on demand, yeah. Valued mindset, common belief, common purpose. Awesome. Okay, so we have 11 responses there. That's great. 11 people have responded. Thank you so much. Let's move on to the next one. 12 people have responded. You can actually go back and forward. We've got somebody else joining us. Just let them in. Thanks for joining us. We're a few questions into the exercise. if you're familiar with Menti, you open a new tab, go to menti.com and enter the code 703186. You should be able to answer all the questions prior to this one if you've just joined us. But if you can't, please just fit in from here and start to answer the questions. So the next question is, when you think of the way you work, what is your greatest need in terms of entrepreneurial practices? So practices are about the modern methods for extracting and sharing value. You know, agile, for example, gamification, for example, practices like jobs to be done, where to start from a friend of mine, design thinking, etc., divergent thinking. Those are all examples of practices, but we'd like you to give us your view on the practices that would make a difference to entrepreneurship and what your greatest need is in terms of practices. So you can click on next question in Menti if you're not at practices yet, and then enter the practices that you believe help with your greatest need or where your greatest need might be. Hopefully Menti is behaving itself now that we're no longer using the timer. The timer was giving us some issues, and I'm actually going to submit this video to them for training purposes so they can give us some feedback. Learning purposes. Right, so we're getting some real activity here. In fact, hectic activity. That's awesome. Hectic in a positive way. So flexibility, structured environment, lean product development, project management, agile methods, digital openness. And 5 people have responded so far. So if you haven't responded or haven't hit submit at all, you can submit and then still enter some more responses. That keeps it nice and interactive and responsive and engaging. So we've got standard processes and automated processes. I guess you have to have some kind of a standard in the process to automate it, unless your AI is bright enough to work out all of the options and use the data to come up with variations. So MVP, minimum viable product, seems to be dominant in this one. And we've got digital IP, so the notion that you digitize your offering, I guess. Cool. Value capture, very cool. Right, entrepreneurial practices 101. We're getting there. Speed, I like that. Authenticity, I like that too. Okay, should we move on to 10 responses? Let's move on to the next one. When you think of the way you work, what's your greatest need for entrepreneurial skills? So skills are the essential skills that leverage the capabilities you need to create value. And of course, those are all sorts of things like team building, analytical thinking, data science, curiosity, risk tolerance, risk awareness, creative thinking, startup skills, divergent thinking. There are lots of skills. Can you give us your greatest need for entrepreneurial skills? And if you're on your Menti page and you haven't clicked next question to see the skills answer voting form, do that. Make sure you're responding to skills. And I'm going to put listening because it's so quiet. which is cool. There we go. I love the way this works. Communication, which is fundamental. I mean, listening is fundamental to communication, as is empathy. Grit, yeah, very cool. Practices. Wow, interesting how listening is so dominant. And 7 people have responded. Looking forward to a few more. Listening still dominant. Surprised that technical skills aren't emerging strongly. So digital. Cool, we're looking awesome there now. Right. So communication and listening and critical thinking, open mindset, planning, willingness to fail, very, very cool. Yeah, very cool. Very important skill as an entrepreneur. Awesome. And we've got up to 10 votes, so 11. Thank you very much. That looks very cool. And we'll share a little bit later what we're going to do with this. So moving on. When you think of your value offer, what word or phrase best describes customer value? So obviously, the obvious ones are things like customer value proposition, brand identity, personas. But what we're looking for is, from your perspective, how do you see customer value? So maybe it's things like sorry, I'm just multitasking here. Defining your ideal client, or getting more ideal clients, or what do you see there? Okay, so clear proposition, stickiness, yeah, very good. Brand loyalty, relevant offering. So customer, product, market, fit. So we've got 3 people so far. And I'm going to put in some prompts. Finding the right customer. Yeah, there is a limit to the length of the phrase, but we get customer lifetime value, relevant offering, brand loyalty, long-term partnerships. Yeah, that goes with customer lifetime value. If you can increase your customer lifetime value as your business grows and scales, what a pleasure. Ideal position to be in. Identifying my tribe. That's very cool. Got 6 people who have responded. Onboarding, I'm guessing that means customer onboarding. So that gives me an idea, which I'm going to enter. Awesome. 8 people have responded. I'll give it a few more minutes. try and give you all a chance to respond. We're typically getting up to 11. All right. Anybody need to hit submit before I click next? Since the counter seems to be have gremlins today. Let's move on to the next one. So when you think of your value offer, what is your greatest need for entrepreneurial resources? So these are, the resources are access to capabilities, tools, templates, things like canvases, books. The end of competitive advantage jumps out there. Things like free education, game storming or swarming to get some people to, and this is kind of a swarming exercise if you think about it. You guys have come along and you're participating in helping us build this framework. So what resources do you see as your greatest need for entrepreneurial tools, templates, etc.? And I'm clicking next to go to customer. So you also needed to click next to be on resources. Cool. Staff on demand is very popular. The notion that you can almost outsource anything without viewing it from a traditional labor perspective, more from a gig economy perspective. Staff on demand, rapid skills development. Yeah, indeed. Short-term skills, so getting just what you need to focus on the problem at hand to move the needle forward and solve for X now. Short-term skills that will help you get over the next hurdle at a good cost, so low cost there. Somebody's put in an IT hub. Interesting. Flexibility, technical capability. Yeah, that one kind of resonates with skills as well. And 8 people have responded. Thank you so much. There are many canvases out there from the likes of Stratagen and Canvanizer, and on tools like Miro and Mural. Lots of interesting resources to help you move the needle forward and build your business for scale. Cool. So we've got 10 responses there. I'm going to click next. And we move on to solutions. So when you think of your value offer, what's your greatest need for entrepreneurial solutions? So this is now taking the capabilities and practices and tools and putting them together and applying them in some way that delivers value to your customer. So, these could be ideation tools, they could be strategy tools, but actually anything as a service, I think, is where this is really going. So solutions around, marketing as a service and anything you can think of as a service. But what we're really looking for here is what is your greatest need for entrepreneurial solutions. So if your mentee voting screen still says resources like mine does, then you need to click next question and you'll get to the solutions voting input screen where somebody said feedback and perspective and market research and access to data. So market research as a service is available and very possible through exercises like this where you can do swarming. Cool. 2 people have responded so far. I'm just thinking of yeah, coaching, absolutely. Calmness as a solution, that's an interesting one. Critical thinking's come up again. Yeah, brainstorming. Access to data, absolutely critical. But then how do you manage and, you know, turn it into a solution? You know, your solution probably needs data, it probably needs process, it probably needs some automation, it needs a way to engage effectively with your customer, make it frictionless for your customer to deal with you and pay you money. Yeah, so anything as a service, guys. Coaching as a service is becoming massive, and mentoring. And that's part of what we're doing in this community, is supporting each other with mentorship based on what we learn as we grow. So we've got 9 responses there. I'll give it a minute or 2 for it to tick over to 10 or 11. That's 10. If anyone else needs to click submit there, that'll be cool. And we'll move on to the next part. So that covers the 7 pathways. Thanks so much for your input. Your considered input is much appreciated. And so let's talk a little bit about what we're really trying to do here. So by participating in this community with your interest in entrepreneurship, the first thing we're doing is creating a bit of engagement, which is absolutely critical to effectively building a community. And then we're also creating data points. So the engagement creates the data, which feeds the machine and algorithms. So we're collecting this data. And of course, at this stage, a lot of the correlation and analysis is manual, but we are engaging in some machine learning testing so that we can begin to build recommendations of appropriate content. As an example, a kind of Spotify for learning kind of environment where an entrepreneur can get exactly the help that he needs to move the needle forward to solve his challenge for the day at the time that he needs it, rather than have to do an MBA, as a extreme example of the alternatives. And that participation and engagement increases the quality of recommendations and correlation strength. So, you know, the more people participate like this, the more you engage in the community, the more we support one another and record the learnings and put them into the process, and capture and share the learnings, the more people share with each other and learn. But we would also want to engage in a machine learning approach to increase the learnings and ultimately to monetize using community business models, which means that everyone that participates and contributes can benefit financially as well. So as an individual, there's a platform, there's a community, and it becomes commercial, and it's a continuous feedback loop that uses AI for community success. So that's kind of the strategic journey, if you like, that you've already participated in and you can continue to participate in. if you enjoyed this exercise. And wow, I didn't realize the time had flown so much. So if you can give us a quick one on this, how likely are you to join the Democratizing Entrepreneurship community based on what you've learned and seen today? We don't have a lot of time, so if you wouldn't mind moving on to that one and starting to give us your view on that. Sorry, we didn't have time for questions. I'm just seeing all the asker questions here as you go next. Cool, very likely, extremely likely, 4 responses so far. As soon as we hit a few more than that, I'm going to move on because we are going to run out of time if we don't. So give us your input there as quickly as you can, please. Still only 4. Looking forward to 5, 6, 7, 8. Or not. Take it, that's the prevalent view. Moving on. Next question is quite similar. How likely are you to recommend democratizing entrepreneurship to other entrepreneurs? So the first one is, how likely are you to, what was the difference again? Join the community. And the second one is, how likely are you to recommend the community to other entrepreneurs? And what I'll do is we need to jump off here in a few minutes, but the slides and access to the slides will be available after the hour. So you're welcome to carry on voting, but I'm going to just jump to the next question, which is, how likely are you to use the entrepreneurial brain framework to enhance entrepreneurship? So if you can get to that one and give us a view there, that'll be cool. And then that is the final question. So thank you very much. In spite of a few technical glitches, I hope you found that useful and interesting. And I hope you will continue with us on the journey to democratizing entrepreneurship and building the entrepreneurial brain as a framework for achieving that. It's a big, hairy, audacious goal. It's a challenge, and we can do with as much support as we possibly can get. If you would like to join the community, if you just search Democratizing Entrepreneurship on LinkedIn, you'll find the community, and we'd be delighted to have you join us. So thanks very much, everybody. Awesome having you, and keep an eye out on the social airwaves for all of our other events, and we're going to be carrying on doing the same as we've done here on an ongoing basis to keep getting input on those challenges from entrepreneurs. So with that, thank you so much. Have a great day. And if you are able and haven't registered for Alistair's session, it is the next session, which is part of the reason that I need to move along swiftly, because it's using the same ExoFutures account. So thanks a lot. I'm going to end this session, but you can carry on Menti, adding your feedback. Thanks, guys.